I'm excited. I'm love to help you however I can.
So, so here is, I've got a couple costs here. And, you know, when talking about select sports or club sports or those kinds of things, well, let me show you real quick, a couple videos here first. Let me stop sharing this. So this last weekend, my daughter Harper played for Integrity, and it was a scrimmage, which, by the way, we pay $5 to come. There's a gate fee for that, which there's a gate fee for baseball and other things too. But here is the environment, which I thought was a really cool environment. And there's Harper right there. Her team just missed the ball. There's Harper's team. And let me show you real quick here the rec world. So Harper also plays rec volleyball as well, and just a little bit different here. Just to kind of give the students some perspective. There's my wife, Jessica, by the way. This is Jessica right here, coaching Harper's team, and she played at Dallas Baptist. So we're fortunate to have a rec coach that's played college volleyball. Here's Harper about to serve. Oh, good. And of course, I got to show her having an ace, right? You can't show her missing the ball. So, it's pretty cool. But it's an interesting thing to think, like, the difference between rec and club volleyball there. So, like, for us, when Harper went to go play club volleyball this year, she switched over from FC Dallas to club. And, we had clinics that we went to throughout the summer to kind of get familiar with the coaches and figure out which one we wanted to be part of. We had the tryouts that we went through. We went through 3 tryouts. She got offers from all 3 of them and picked the one that she wanted. And then she went to a volleyball camp as well. And then the fee total to play was $4,700. And then there are additional costs if we do travel. So right now, currently for a season of volleyball, we're in $5,400. Is that a good deal? Is that on the lower side, or is that pretty normal?
No, that's pretty normal, especially I think just like anywhere else, there's also different levels. There are different levels of club. There are different levels of playing. So if she was playing on a non-travel team, so they have teams that just play Metro, like they just stay in the area. They play 1-day tournaments. That cost obviously is a little bit lower, but also the level of play is a little bit lower. But this is about normal. The other costs that obviously you don't have in there are the costs to the parents if they travel. If they want to go and they want to pay for their own, they've got to pay for their own flight, their own hotel, their own meals throughout the tournament. And then also the entry fee for the parents, like to get into just to watch their daughters play in a big tournament setting like you just saw. So all of those things definitely keep adding up.
And like in travel baseball, my boys both play there, and there's no cost to try out. There's just a coach's look. But the private level stuff, I mean, we pay $80 an hour for a private lesson every Friday night for both my boys. So it's $160 times 4 weeks in a month. And I mean, these kinds of costs are pretty substantial. As well. But it's interesting, Richie Trotter, you might remember from Byron Nelson, Coach Trotter, his son is on Henry's soccer team. And I was asking Coach Trotter, I said, hey, is it like for the baseball team at Byron Nelson, is it possible for a kid to just play rec baseball all the way up and then potentially be able to make the Byron Nelson team? And he said, look, you've got 160 kids, boys, going out for baseball for 18 spots on the freshman team. Is it possible? Yeah. But is it probable? Not so much. Like he said, most players have to be AAA or major level. So I guess my next question for you is, in the volleyball world, is it possible for, a high school player to play rec and not really do the club world and be able to make a high school team?
Well, it's funny. There's trends going on with volleyball and actually all sports right now that, you kind of hit on it earlier. It depends on where you're at, what high school you're at, to be honest with you. If your teammates and other people around you are playing club volleyball and playing at a high level, like 6 months out of the year, then you probably need to figure out a way to be playing club volleyball and getting some extra reps. I very similar to what Trotter said. I tell our middle school parents, I said, we have a 10-game middle school season. And if the only volleyball they get is those 10 games, and then they come in August to try out against a player who has played in an entire club season, probably about 110 games,
Right.
based on all of her club tournaments, there's a clear natural like divide that's going to happen just solely because of the amount of volleyball that you play, not necessarily because of athleticism and things, but just because of the amount of that you end up playing. So is it possible? Yes, if you're athletic, you can definitely play high school. But in most areas, especially in the Metroplex, if they're competitive, if you're looking at 4, 5, 6A volleyball, it's pretty rare to have to make a team without playing club. The higher you go. The trend is for a lot of club players not to play high school volleyball. So they'll play, I know, they will play just club. And again, this happens in soccer. The trend started in soccer. And it's kind of slowly creeping into volleyball. And I suspect at some point it'll trickle into baseball and things like that. And the reality is, if you're playing club volleyball, especially once you get into your 16th, 17th year, you're probably hoping to play at a different level, play at the next level, or hoping to get college interest. And college coaches, much like this picture, college coaches can go to a club tournament and watch 100 courts at one time versus going to a one high school game and one high school practice and only catching like 2 teams.
Right.
So just the sheer amount of recruiting that happens through club volleyball versus high school volleyball is a reason why a lot of girls will sometimes turn to just focus on club.
Gosh, that hurts my heart to hear that. Sherwood Bowman. I mean, my high school was like everything. Like everything I did growing up was to be a Bowman and play for Sherwood. I mean, I couldn't imagine telling my high school coach not going to happen,
Yeah, it's been a trend that's been, like I said, I would say probably it started in the last decade, the last 5 or 6 years, it's definitely, you see it more and more. And again, you see it at the high levels, players who are playing Division I, things like that. So